Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving straight into a massive, frankly gripping, what-if scenario from the narrative The Silent Signal. It's a journey that drags humanity from sudden, blind panic right into a profound, unexpected stillness. You know, it's really a story about the invisible threads we desperately trust to hold our modern lives together, and what happens when the loudest, most constant noises in our world are just permanently silenced. Okay, let's set the scene. Imagine it's exactly 12 p.m. No warning, no countdown. The average person taps, swipes, and clicks their phone over 2,600 times a day. We're endlessly and usually unknowingly tethered to this digital umbilical cord. Now imagine you're right in the middle of it all. You're mid-scroll on a feed, mid-text to a friend, just mid-life. And suddenly, without a single emergency broadcast, without even a flicker of the lights, that invisible tether just snaps. The Wi-Fi disappears instantly. 1 second, you've got the entire pulsing globe right there in your pocket. The sum total of human knowledge at your fingertips. And the next, a frozen screen. Your router is just blinking red. You've got that little wheel spinning in the center of your display, loading, waiting, failing.
Then, cell towers across the globe go completely, terrifyingly silent. That invisible web we basically breathe like air, it evaporates. No bars, no signal. Urgent, desperate calls drop right mid-sentence. Life-saving texts fail to deliver. Even the GPS on your dashboard goes completely blank mid-turn. The constant, comforting pulse of human communication just stops dead. And it doesn't end there. Even the satellites, hovering silently miles above the Earth, become useless floating metal. They absolutely refuse all commands from the ground. The vast, invisible nervous system of the modern world, the data streams that govern literally everything from our stock markets to our smart homes, is simply erased. Now, what's really fascinating is how the timeline of panic plays out here. The immediate human reaction, it wasn't actually terror. It was laughter. It was denial. People stood up in their cubicles, holding their phones in the air, assuming it was just a localized glitch, thinking, oh, it'll be back up in 10 minutes. But as those minutes bled into hours, well, the joke stopped. Deep, gnawing confusion set in as rumors started. Within days, as the sun went down on a disconnected world, that silence bred a mounting, suffocating fear. And as weeks passed without a single digital pulse, the veneer of civilization began to crack, fracturing into scarcity and bitter fighting over whatever was left on the empty shelves. Section 1. A world in panic. The collapse of modern systems. Everything collapses at once. The financial systems freeze overnight. ATMs flash useless error codes while people furiously mash the keypads, suddenly realizing there's absolutely no way to access a single cent of their own money. Thousands of commercial airlines ground flights simultaneously, leaving millions stranded. Hospitals plunge into chaos, suddenly and violently locked out of critical digital patient records, unsure of who needs what medication. Businesses just close their doors. And in this massive, crushing vacuum of real information, paranoia takes total control. Wild rumors of malicious hackers, rogue states, or even a global war start spreading from person to person. With absolutely no answers, the panic is absolute. Section 2. The darkness grows, days turn to weeks.
So, as the days drag on, the physical darkness outside begins to reflect a profound, creeping darkness inside. Think about it. Stripped of online banking, severed from the perfectly curated lives of social media influencers, cut off from that endless pacifying drip of digital dopamine, people were completely isolated. They were left entirely alone, staring into the dead black mirrors of their devices. Suddenly, they're stuck with the one thing they've been frantically avoiding for years, which is their own thoughts. For a lot of people, staring into that void, the silence was totally deafening. The emptiness was heavier than any physical burden. But then, we see this incredible emotional pivot in the narrative. In the middle of this suffocating chaos, an elderly pastor stands before a small, frightened congregation in a dimly lit room and quietly offers this profound realization. He says, perhaps we've spent more time connected to the world than connected to God. At first, the fear in the room is just too loud for anyone to truly listen. People are hungry, nerves are completely frayed. But in the dark, without the noise of the internet to drown it out, those words start to plant a seed. Section 3. A different network. The analog rebirth. Out of that deep darkness, society begins to shift. They replace the cold glow of screens, apps, and live streams with something incredibly raw and deeply human. A new network forms. Only this one isn't built on fiber optic cables or glowing screens. It's built on the worn-out, dusty pages of Bibles pulled from attics. It's built on the flickering, soft light of candles and on shared, meager meals between neighbors who honestly had lived next to each other for a decade but had never actually spoken a word. In the total, devastating absence of the internet, isolated, broken people finally discover true community. They realized the digital world had failed them, but spoken stories, flesh, blood, and faith had not.
Section 4, The Greatest Connection, the final act.
So here we are, months into the blackout. Under a night sky that's completely free of city light pollution, a group of believers gathers around a fire. An older woman looks up at stars that seem brighter, closer, and clearer than they have in a century. She smiles, leaning into the warmth of the people around her, and whispers, "The world lost its signal, but I finally found mine." They had completely stopped waiting for the screens to turn back on. They stopped craving the notifications. Because, well, they had discovered a truth far deeper than endless scrolling information. And it all leads to this ultimate realization: be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. The violent stripping away of modern distraction, the complete forced loss of endless digital noise. Maybe it was exactly what humanity needed to finally be still enough to hear the one who had been calling them all along. The greatest connection was never the internet. It was the quiet communion that the internet had been drowning out. So we want to leave you today with one final lingering question to consider long after this explainer ends. What if losing the world's connection was the exact thing that led millions back to the one who never left them? Take a moment today to step away from your screen, turn the volume down, find a quiet space, and ask yourself, where are your strongest signals really coming from? Thanks so much for joining me on this journey.